AiQ, the all-in question live show with your host, Don Reed.
Isn't that a lovely name?
And it's the Rama.
You're famous.
Bringing you the most intriguing questions of the day with live callers and interviews. Are you ready to go all in?
Yes.
Let us begin.
Attention, everyone.
Are you ready?
Let us begin.
Yes. All right. We are back. Welcome. May 3rd, 2020. Show number 15 of the AiQ All in Question radio live streaming show on Facebook and YouTube. I'm here in the studio alone today. I am connected with my co-host Don Regal on the other side. I'm waiting for him to get it together on that end. I believe he's frozen up over there. So we gonna wait to get him in. But in the meantime, in between time, let you know that you can go ahead and get your calls in today at 312-554-5785. That's 312-554-5785. And that is a live direct phone number right there to reach out and touch us for any of the topics that you would hear today, or anything that's on your mind. If you had something on your mind last week that wasn't able to get that through, go ahead and give us a call. We can discuss that matter also. Let me check back in on my host here, see if he is. Yeah, he's still stuck there in the limbo. Those out there in the live, go ahead, throw something in the chat so I can see that you hear me and see me clearly. As we were experiencing technical difficulties that I found out is due to the mass amount of people live streaming and Netflixing and whatnot. So that's been driving the feed on my side down. So more people that are on the internet, I am heavily affected out of this location, which should not be the case when you pay this much for internet. It shouldn't be the case, but painfully it is. What do we have here? Okay, coming in loud and clear. Thank you very much. Yeah, this week there's been a lot going on. Of course, we're doing the back to normalcy for some places, or what can be perceived as normalcy now. Those that are doing the stay in home orders. So a lot of those orders are being lifted now. So that's a thing. Yeah, that's become a thing now. And some of those states decided to go ahead and let you guys run amok, trying to bring back life as usual for this May 1st, and some started on Friday with a soft opener. And then in our state, in Illinois, here in Chicago, we have a no you can't, no you won't, no you will not from our Governor Pritzker and Mayor Lori Lightfoot. They are not playing around, people. They don't want you out there putting yourself or others at risk. So as she say, y'all better stay where you at. You know what I'm saying? In the house. She actually went around the city this weekend, locking down a lot of, hey, what's up, Lawrence Mayfield, how you doing there? She actually went around the city this weekend, shutting down a couple of black parties preemptively, and making sure that there will be none of that. But yet and still, there still was some that decided to go out there and run amok and act a fool. Oh, we got my co-host back here. Where you at? I see you, bro. Boom. Let me bring you in here. Bring you in here. There you go. Gotcha. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear. A lot of bass in your voice. Yeah. Looking like a young Barry Wright right over there. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to get my love in face. Jeez. Yeah. But while you were off air for the moment, I was briefly discussing with the people in the house about the things that were going on around the city of Illinois the state of Illinois in the city of Chicago, as far as this stay-at-home order, and our mayor perusing the West Side with her constituency, shutting down block parties.
And you know how she got disrespected, got called a bald-headed hoe and all of that.
Exactly. I mean, look, the woman is doing a phenomenal job as far as getting out there and outreach and talking to the people she needs to talk to, and letting them feel it. You know, I can't recall during a time of emergency when neither one of the dailies were out there talking about, stay at home, and then going out there to check to see if they were doing so. They were handing it off to a what do you call it, a city official, a superintendent or something like that, and you take care of that type of thing.
Yeah, but you look at what's going on now. I think that they've been real lenient. But I'm looking at their demeanor now, and I'm looking at some of their responses, especially the chief of police. Once he said the statement of, "You putting the first responders' lives in danger," I'm like, yeah, y'all just up the ante. Now they finna stop playing with them.
Yeah, because I mean they got deaths they dealing with. You got deaths on the sides of the first responders, firemen, EMS workers, and police officers also, who a lot of them been sick, because of this contact with the public, and then spreading it amongst the group, and those who are not having well-to-do immune systems aren't able to fight this, so they've been taking a hit. And so she put it out there, in her little video. She put it out there, in no short words, that she will not be having it. Yeah, she will not be having it. Any of the behavior. We actually were going to the footage. I had a little stumble right there. It was like, I'm like, what? I'll tell you, I was saying, due to all the people that are staying home and are doing some Netflixing and things like that, it is causing a little issues with internet and my location. I am feeling.
They staying at home.
Yeah, it's been extended. The governor ordered.
No, I'm saying, are they actually staying at home?
Now
people are looking at people's cell phones, GPS is like, you're not at home.
Yeah, they said they have been checking to see the cell phone data and seeing where a lot of these the phones are gathering. Some people are like, they ain't there. That ain't me. It's just my phone. Your phone going out and hanging out over there on the west side, hanging out in Lincoln Park. But no, it's been a big issue. It's been a big issue over there. Trying to pull this video in. It's been a big issue over there with the people. With the people who just not listening. From the people who were in front of the state office downtown Friday protesting, saying that they want to live their lives. They want to open it back up. And then a lot of people criticizing the police and mayor, saying that they need to do something about those people. Why didn't they break up that and disperse that? Problem is that was state property. And state property and city property, two different things, so she has no jurisdiction over state property, but she said herself that those who did wander away from that area during the protests and whatnot and engaging in large groups and whatnot, Chicago police did break that up on their behalf.
Our social footage of some nurses who popped up there to their protest.
To combat?
Yeah. Let it be known how stupid these people sound and what they were going through. The lives, they're in a war zone.
Right.
And how they didn't appreciate them bitching and moaning about them being in the house and complaining up there at the state building. Or, like, Thompson building.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the funny thing, because then you had people yelling in the face of cops. These same people who talking about all lives matter, you now putting somebody else's life at risk. That blue life doesn't matter at that point, huh? When you need to get what you want done. Okay, right. Here we go. Here we go with this footage right here of the mayor. Here we go. Play this back. Here we go.
Teenagers were shot while they were out at a large gathering over in the Lawndale neighborhood. Now, police say this is just the latest in a number of large gatherings or parties that have been taking place, which is against that stay-at-home order. Now, a bit more about the shooting that happened early this morning. Chicago police say 5 teenage boys were shot while at a large gathering on 13th and Lawndale in the Lawndale neighborhood at 3:30 this morning. All of the victims, fortunately, are in fair condition. Now, Mayor Lightfoot said the city would be cracking down on large parties and gatherings. People were also breaking the stay-at-home order by attending some of these types of parties on the city's west side overnight. The new police superintendent said they would make arrests, although they didn't arrest anyone from at least those 2 gatherings. But the mayor is issuing a warning. The longer coronavirus cases continue to climb, the longer we stay at home.
When you go out and party, when you go home to your mama, your grandma, or anybody in your household who has an underlying medical condition, you are bringing death to their doorstep. Make no mistake about it.
Strong words from the mayor there. Leaders are encouraging people to turn others in who are blatantly disobeying the law. You can do so anonymously by calling 911 or reporting it online at cpdtip.com. And once again, the shooting that happened, Chicago police say that was a large gathering. 5 teams.
Man, you hear that? And I mean, no laughing matter, because 5 people did get shot over there at a large party. You saw the footage of everybody out in the street just acting up, wilding out. And then she gave that the speech that you saw there earlier in the morning, breaking up another party that was about to get started. You know, she was out there personally. And you still
start saying your mama and grandma, you know, it was over.
Right. She said, right. She said, you bringing death to your family. Death. So it's out in no short terms, man. It's ridiculous, though. We got people who, again, it's my life. You can't tell me nothing. I was born here. I was born here over this way. I can stay. I can do what I want to. All of that. All of that.
You know, I get even tired of just really discussing it, man. And I know I'll start losing my, or flipping my wig if I think about it too much, man.
Yeah, well, see, I have a little bit more calm, so I try to disseminate the information the best I can to certain people. But the good thing is, though, honestly, I don't run across those types of people. I know they exist.
See, you don't.
I don't. Right.
I see them at work.
Yeah, because I don't run across those, and I truthfully don't know what I could say to persuade those that are intent on going out there acting a fool. I'm like, I don't know what I can say to them to change their understanding that this ain't the best thing, you know, because they lack the most common sense. I mean, the numbers are out there. You know, people are dying. It's a great chance that you know somebody. 6 degrees of separation rules. You know somebody who is afflicted with this condition, or it died. You know, from it. And the problem is, no, they don't hear it. They don't understand it. Which, like I say,
no compassion,
no
common sense,
no common sense.
Like you say, man, they're selfish and want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, That's always the biggest issue right there with the youth.
And then complain.
Wait, and I was about to say with the youth and leave it at with the youth, but that's not true. It's not just the youth. You know, we got full grown people out there, long grown, who know better. Those who are sick themselves. You know, hey, I got to get out. I can't be cooped in the house. Who told you to have such a screwed up home and living condition that you can't stand to be in there and have a personality that you can't even stand? You know, that you got to go out there and seek entertainment from other people, risking your life in this. So other people just because you don't want to stay at home. You know,
Wow, the way you said that, man. Your jail cell's not personal enough. It doesn't have enough personality that you can't stay there.
Hey, put up a Rita Hayworth poster and, and enjoy your time, because you're going to be here for a minute. So, because like, what was that? The Governor Pritzker said that it's going to be into the, extended to the 29th, I believe, of May. So pretty much all of May. And then you had some cities or well, a city that tried to sue. It was not the city; it's a person from that city, a representative from that area, on his behalf, wanted to sue to cease that order. So that it's right now in that little area, it's in limbo. It's not happening, you know. And you're getting all these people with the whole, oh, he stood up for our rights. He's doing what needs to be done, saying what needs to be said, what nobody else will say. Illinois is not all just Chicago. We live differently. True. Illinois is not all Chicago. Illinois, I mean, Chicago is not all Illinois. Chicago is the majority of the people living here, you know, in a concentrated area, but it's not all the same. Yes. You know, and then when you say Chicago, they really saying Cook County. You know, because Cook County is Chicago extended, and most of the time when you ask somebody where you from, say, where you from? Oh, Chicago. What part? Joliet. we get that all the time. Like, okay. So, but it's all within the Cook County. I believe Joliet is in Will or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe. But you get that response. So, but further out, let's say like in Little Rock or Rockford, Springfield, Springford. It might be a Springford. You know, this is one. We live in the Midwest where you got all these little weird names, and it's always something like that. But big city, the two people of Springford. Well, yeah, you got all of that, and they all there. The thing is, what it is like, okay, they have smaller populations and they can social distance because some of them live in situations where it's almost like farms, you know, where these homes are a good mile away from each other, you know, so they will go to their downtown area, which probably consists of like maybe 40-30 buildings and whatnot, maybe 8 city blocks total, and do the, you know, and they feel that, you know, it's a small enough area that they can social distance, they can be away from each other. They believe this. So, but
right.
the thing is though, what about the outliers? What about when somebody from this larger population comes to your smaller area, which you believe you have in control, and suddenly, bam, hit? Now, most of those places are heavily populated by people over the age of 60, you know, so it's a good chance I can wipe out your entire village, town, city quickly with just a couple people getting sick down at the general store. You know, down at the main street, down at whatever bar and diner you got down there, you know, and boom, everybody there sick, carry it back at the home sick. And so now your small town is overwhelmed by something like this, you know, so that's why it's more important, you know, I mean,
let me ask you this question.
What's that?
It seems that, you know, when the AIDS virus came out, or HIV,
Mm-hmm.
people were more scared, and people were listening more. and that was a sexual or a blood transfusion for you to actually get it.
Right.
We talking about something that's highly contagious right now. This COVID-19, and it's been taking people out without a matter of, I think, quick was 5 days, but I think the average might be 2 weeks, if I ain't mistaken. But like you say, the people's mentalities, man, are like it don't exist or it's not out there. And I'm just saying to myself, like, how are you scared, or how people scared about the HIV and AIDS, but you ain't scared about this?
Well, see, with HIV and AIDS, it was promoted, if you can say promoted, initially as a disease for those that were loose or homosexual, or those living bad lifestyles and things like that, and they pushed that agenda so long, whereas people were like, well, it ain't gonna happen to me because I'm not like that. But things cross over, and you found out that anybody can get this, and then that people were getting HIV and dying from AIDS. That was the thing right there. Once people start, the education got out there, and people got it more and more and more. Then it was like, okay, yeah, it's a real thing, and it was almost like this with the 6 degrees of separation. You knew somebody who died from complications. Again, so it's like, man, and then, but with HIV, the good thing about it is that stigma dropped. That was the good thing, because it became a thing, whereas people would just like, ooh, yuck. It's just like, whoa, slow down, slow your roll. Understand what this is. Understand that this person didn't ask for this and things like that. And this person is being careful. That person who had it, people start coming out and talking about it, that they had it, and they were being careful. They were being careful, letting you know that they're being careful. They're alive. They're taking medications, getting better now. I mean, HIV, AIDS is still a thing, but it's heavily under control right now. It's heavily under control. A lot of people are getting their number. I forgot the name of it. I believe it's T-cell count numbers are down. So medications, right. Yeah, and they doing well. That was a successful culling of that issue. And those now who have it, there's less stigma about it. It's like, all we say to them now, are you all right? You good? There you go. It's no more of that, ew, oh my God. But with this, for some reason, because you can have it and be asymptomatic and it doesn't do anything to you, and it can be passed with just general contact, coughing or shared utensils or swapping up saliva, things like that, touching on things that a person touched hours ago, days ago, in some material circumstances, that it's like, it's everywhere, whatever. If I got it, I got it. Like, wow, really? If I got it,
like, what kind of mentality is that?
If I got it, I got it. And then those who have had it, they'll tell you. And I wish I could get in contact with more of those who actually had it, have had it or been exposed to it, and then came through it, and they tell you about how rough that is. Going through that. We hear from the, Chris Cuomo, the host on CNN, the governor of New York's brother, him having it. And he was sort of doing his job as he was having it. And he had some really messed up days, and he had some okay days. You hear about the prime minister over there in Britain, him having it, and him telling him he was 50-50. He didn't think he was going to make it, on the ventilator. Lots of people who didn't think they were going to make it. And then people who didn't make it, they ain't here to tell the story. They're not here to tell the story, It's right. It's real, and people are not paying attention. Well, taking it as serious as they should, by example of those parties. You know, people with the, and this is the crazy thing. She told them she's scouring the internet. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. She's looking for these COVID-19 parties. And that's what people are calling them, COVID parties and whatnot. So she's looking for this. She's like, she know it's hot. She know it's bad, good weather and whatnot. So people won't be out. So she's like, man, we looking it up. We going to these addresses. We We talking to the people who talking about throwing them and whatnot. And don't think that you can hide. You know, because we all know how a party starts up. Like that guy who threw that last party. You know, he said it started off as a memorial celebration type of deal, you know, because he was like, yeah, you see, it wasn't no amplified music or nothing like that. Yeah, but suddenly, dude, there was hundreds of people at your house. You know, at some point, you could have said, no, we got to cut it out, we got to stop. But then, you know, later on, he apologized, said he didn't know about the spread and how that worked out. We all of us that have internet contact and watch the news go, right, how did you not know this? But his behind was
mother is a first responder.
That part, man, your mother is a first responder, dude. And you still went out there and lost your damn mind. You know, and they said his moms didn't even know about the party, which I can believe. I can believe some people are nickel slick and think they can get something done, and your mother don't get off till like 6 a.m. I'm gonna just throw this rah and it's gonna be fine. But I don't think he intended it to be that big. I ain't gonna give him no excuses, no quarter at all. But I don't think he extended it to be that big. But it definitely got out of control, and he could have stopped it at any given time. You know. So excuses be damned.
24 hours. You know, 6 in the morning she left, and then she comes back at 6 in the morning the next day. So of course she didn't know what was going on.
Right.
But like you said though, you throwing a party for 26 people was a big no anyway. Then you see the other crowd heading towards your house. You couldn't close the door and say, "Hey man, no capacity, no more capacity."
Exactly. You know, hit him with that. That would have even been a cool little status thing, man. I have to shut it down. You know, you could have did that if you wanted to. You know, but he went with it. You know, he went with it. It was people out there like, yeah, it's fine, it's good. What's the problem? Yeah, some people were sitting there holding their mask. I got my mask. That's not how it works, you know. But they were doing it. And again, same thing.
People on Facebook, live your life, do what you do.
Live your life, really. Live your life. There are people. There are places in this country where the live your life crowd are heavy and prevalent. What was that? Oh yeah, fire. Your mother, she was in the fire department. Yeah, you know, there's places in this country where the live your life crowd is very prominent. Those places are jails. Those places are full of people who are living their life, and sometimes hospitals. It's the fact, though. Think about all these people. Hey, man, I was just doing me. Locked up. What they get you for? Some old bullshit. Well, no, what they get you?
You could have done better.
What they got you on? They got me on some bullshit, man. I wasn't doing nothing to nobody. I'm like, dude, you know. But that's the situation. The same with these people who are out here doing these protests, saying that, you know, they need to open up the state so that they can live their lives. It's the same BS, pretty much. And hold on, I think I got some footage of that one right there. Let me pause that. I think so. So yeah, internet. Look at that. It got commercials. What? Never. Jeez.
Back to work. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work. This is undemocratic. This is no longer to be tolerated. And this is something that needs to stop.
Former Cook County Commissioner.
People who are here today are voicing
What, from 1982?
that this nonsense needs to stop. Those who feel
I don't remember the guy from being on commissioner.
insecure about their situation are welcome to stay home. hunkered down in their basements.
He said
Wait for
insecure.
the governor to tell them they can come out. We're here to say we can think for ourselves.
I don't know if it's me. Sounds a little low.
Let's see if I can bring him up.
We're here to send a message to Governor Pritzker that if we don't want to wear a mask, we don't have to. We're here to ask that our businesses be allowed to open. Open Illinois! Open Illinois! Open Illinois! We want a governor who has $6 billion and doesn't have to worry about paying his bills to let the businesses in this state open up so we can meet our payroll, we can pay our employees benefits, and we can start doing business again. We're not stupid. We're not babies. We don't need to be told what to do day in and day out. Enough already.
American flag right in the pocket.
One-party states today. We have the liberal faction running the entire show as they've done for decades now.
So you have some opposition there.
They have run the state into the ground. Now they're looking for a federal bailout. They have taken our rights away here using this pandemic situation, which is unfortunate, as an excuse.
Little kids out
We
there.
still have a three-party system here in the United States, the legislative, judicial, and the executive branch. No one has ceded their power to Lori Lightfoot, Ms. Preckwinkle, Mike Madigan, Don Harmon, or Governor Pritzker. So I'm thanking all of you who had the guts, who had the nerve, who had the self-initiative and the intelligence to come out and to say with your presence today, enough already, Governor.
Yeah. So this dude right here is out his goddamn mind. They're trying to make that's a political push. As you saw a bunch of Trump backers that were out there. You saw a bunch of whole families pretty much out there saying that they're not going to take it. They're pretty if we don't want to wear a mask, we're not going to wear a mask. It's just sad, yo. It's definitely sad. So this man right here, be on the lookout for him when he's trying to run for some type of state office again, because we definitely don't need that. Just flipping sad, bro.
I told you, man. I was on Facebook and I put the statement out there. If a nuke went off and then you had the fallout, the governor and the mayor is telling you in certain areas there's fallout. You need to wear a mask if you're going over there so you won't get sick.
Mm.
But you still have people complaining. You have people doing the protests. Oh, it's my right to go over there if I want to. You like, Jesus Christ, man. You know what a fallout is?
It's like dealing with children, you know. And the thing is, the excuse for children is that possibly they don't know any better, you know. And my thing is this: I don't believe in the children don't know any better, because you are the instructor of that child. So if you didn't instruct that child, you didn't know any better to put that into that child. So in this situation, I won't talk down to children saying that they don't know any better, because these people are purposely doing this. And so when the numbers spike back up, and the government, they have the upper hand, you know, they have the say so, and when is it going to reopen and whatnot, you know. But these people are like constantly want to fight it, and it makes no sense.
Not whatsoever, man. It's like I see what people are or who they are with this pandemic, man. You know.
Yeah.
Especially over here in this country.
Yeah. And well, and see, this is the thing. You say, okay, they may be crazy, or they may be a little off, or this, that, the other. Yesterday, Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. The young man that went out there on the train tracks. Now, he was having a mental episode, condition. He went out there and he had a knife and they he jumped the train tracks and they blocked up that area to talk him down and whatnot. They had SWAT out there and all of that stuff. And they were live streaming it in a way. The news was. And so during the standoff of probably no more than like 30 minutes or so, the guy started to stab himself with the knife, bleeding profusely. And I could have sworn I heard, and I have to find that footage. I couldn't find anything from it, but I could have sworn I heard that the sting of the taser, the pop of the taser activating. And later on, it was reported, I believe it was reported that he died. Yeah.
From the stab wounds.
Yeah, from the stab wounds. So it's like, okay, it's people out here having real problems, going through real things. I later on looked on Facebook and I saw a lot of pictures of him holding a small child, possibly his daughter. It's people out here going through real issues, having real problems. Do things that were shut down, like remember when the Tinley Park mental facility shut down? That's where a lot of people used to go with long-term health and mental health issues. So they would have there not to just stockhouse them there, but to seek actual ongoing treatment, much like a drug addict, to really be cured from that drug or at least attempted the most, you need to be taken away from the situation that you're going through. And then be worked on. And so the same thing was happening in there at Tinley Park, and they shut that down, cost overruns and things like that, and a little bit of mismanagement there. Problem is they didn't put anything else up in its place. Insurance being what it was at the time, people not being able to pay for things like that, like long-term stays and all of that. And certain doctors not being trained for long-term care. It's just like, okay, here's some Adderall, here's this, take that and go home. But some people just not they weren't ready for that. So like I say, you got people out here who really going through real stuff and real situations and dying. Then you got people who like, I want to go to a Pilates class. I want to run along the lakefront. I want to get my hair dyed and get my hair done. I was going to speak about the young women that were lined up in Atlanta, and young men and women lined up in Atlanta outside of a mall to buy Jordans. Like they were shoulder to shoulder, I'm like, dude, why? And you want somebody from the brand to say something, somebody that they will respect. I mean, it doesn't work for me, but that they will respect, that are buying from their product, and you get nothing. You get crickets in this situation. I think
you know what, Mr. Romano?
Mm-hmm.
What you were speaking on this song, it's a damn shame too that you got their own peers who applaud them doing that. They don't say anything about it. You talking about spokesman of the company that they purchasing the product they purchasing, and then they people, oh man, you gonna get the new Jordans? Instead of somebody saying, man, are you a damn fool? Are you an idiot?
They'll say, I'm hoping, statistically, there has to be someone within that group that's saying, nah, I don't think you should. Or somebody's parent or something that's saying, nah, let's not do this. Let's not go here. Let's not go there. Or you can't go here. You can't go there. But there's nothing. Apparently there's nothing. Well, there could be something, but it's small, or we don't hear it.
Right.
We don't hear it, and this could be the squeaky wheel syndrome, whereas these are the squeaky wheels that are out there looking like fools and whatnot. Oh, I wanted to highlight this real quick. The, not that
Not
guy.
him. Not him.
Look at that. Do you approve of President Trump survey? Man, they got the metrics all wrong. Definitely do not. But
Are you serious? Are you joking?
and see, I would take one of those just to answer it. Hell no. Are you insane? Jeez. And then
Well, they're saying enough to take Clorox when you tell them to inject themselves.
wait though. Wait, that's a good example because right after he said that, Clorox Bleach Company, I think it's Reynolds is their parent company, they put out a tweet with information. Do not digest our products. Do not put it inside the human body. It has no curing properties whatsoever. You had to solve themselves. Don't do this. Like, it does not work this way, And so that's because they know liability. Like, even though it says all over it, don't drink it. Do not put in eyes. Do not put in mouths. Do not put on wounds. Don't do it. All of them putting out these quotes. Don't do this. And he was. Oh, his big comeback was it was a joke. I was just joking. I don't see why you guys take it so seriously. Because
Really?
you are the president, unfortunately, of this United States. And everything you say is very important. Stupid as it may be, it's very important. That's why I didn't fall in with the whole he's not my president thing. Because it feels good to say that. But reality is you pay taxes here. You have a job here. You were born here. Yeah, he's pretty much the president of your little life right now. Until otherwise can be done, and hopefully otherwise will be done come this November.
Well, that's what I was gonna say to you about. Okay, Biden might have a running mate, even though I know he's not gonna pick the governor over there in New York. But that would be a very smart move to me.
Oh yeah, it would be a uniting move. The only issue is that Biden has been having a lot of problems again with showing up. You had a former campaign worker, not campaign worker, I'm sorry, a former state worker who said that Mr. Biden aggressed her in the hallway and touched on the body parts, so that's in the news right now. Now he's adamantly denying that, which is fine, that's good. And then there you got people who are pressing it. It's like, well, what about when you were saying that women have to be believed and this, that, and the other, and I believe his response was let the process play out, which is smart, leave it at that, let the process play out. And of no help at all, this current president gets on there and says, I know how it feels. I understand what it feels like when people lie on you about things you haven't done. Like, oh God, don't help him. Don't calling himself helping him out. Just say no comment, please. Because I was absolutely innocent and they came after me. Now they came in after old Sleepy Joe. Like, it's a sad affair, man. And then he said that he would, I think earlier Joe Biden said that he would run a female vice president. Now, I'm not into I'm not into people doing things just to be doing them. If you're gonna choose somebody that has a plan. Choose somebody that can put things into action. Choose somebody who just ain't there just for credits in their resume. I was the PP. I say choose Elizabeth Warren. Fine. Good. I like this woman. If you have to choose a woman, I wouldn't say Amy Klobuchar because she is the same old Democratic stuff as usual. So we don't need that. I wouldn't say. What was the other woman's name? The district attorney from California. Jesus Christ, her name's just my tongue. But her neither. because her backtracking on her record was ridiculous. You know, you put your record out there, and then suddenly, oh no, I'm not for this, I'm for that. And then again, you had Diddy, who did a Zoom conference, as is very popular now, saying that he's willing to take the black vote hostage. Okay.
What?
I mean, here's the thing with that. It's a little bit too kind of late for that. You should have been doing that at the original primaries. You know, you should have been speaking out like that then, with the holding the black vote hostage thing, because then we could have had a sustenance candidate that could have ran against Trump, not just somebody who's going to win because of a name recognition. You know, his policies, Biden's policies, sucky. His track record, horrible. You know, for the black and brown community. Yeah. So remember, one of the authors of the crime bill, 98 crime bill. So it's like, yeah, let's not do that. But now he's there. But see, when it could have mattered, you know, Puffy, Mr. Diddy, I wish you would have said something then. You know, along with Killer Mike and everybody else who was trying to do that. You know, who was trying to say something out there. Kamala Harris, thank you. Kamala Harris.
I was going to say Kamala Harris, but
I couldn't think of her name.
That's who you was talking about.
Yeah, it was Kamala. You know, because I was thinking, oh man, he gonna try to choose a black woman, you know, just to do a reverse Obama thing. I'm like, don't do it, don't do that just to do it. Not, you know, because she ain't the one. You know, if you do pick somebody outside, there are plenty of black women that will do an excellent job as vice president that are serving in government now. Hey, that are serving in government now that you can pick from. Don't pick that one. Kamala Harris that's a train wreck. But I see him picking either somebody we don't know about yet, or if he was smart, to pick Elizabeth Warren. You know, and then we know we got somebody in there who is actually going to move some things forward, you know, as best she can, because she is not really part of the whole system like that, you know, because she came from the other side, made a change, you know, to get things done. So we shall see what he chooses, or what's put in front of him, because it's not really what he chooses, it's what they put in front of him. Because John McCain got sabotaged that way with Sarah Palin. You know, I told you, I left the Republican Party because of that one. I'm like, oh my God. You know? I'm like, y'all trying to throw the game. You know, once you start throwing the game, I'm out. I'm out. That's it. You're already on shaky grounding, and I was only in here as a legacy Republican. So just you start bending just a little bit, I'm out of here. And then that was it. I'm like, kick rocks, I'm gone. You know. And then when Mitt Romney came around, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. He makes a lot of sense, with the exception of the religious stuff. He makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like this guy. And then he lost it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm voting my interest. And at that time, my interest was clan and skin color. So I went that route. Like, no problem. And didn't have a problem with it. Not ashamed of it. Yeah, a lot of people went that way too. Lacey voted. This time around, though, will not be fooled by the Democratic machine. Will not be fooled by the, oh, well, you know, we always do this and we got to get Trump out of there. Now, here's my thing, and I just thought about this. What would you say? If Trump came up with a substantive package for specifically Black America, would you consider him?
No.
Now, what are your reasons for not considering him?
Because he didn't do it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
You just not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It took you 4 years to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
and put this place in action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when we made that rally. Your schools are down this much %. You done this. Why the hell not?
What do you got to lose?
Yeah, I remember that from that day.
Now, see, but my thing is, though, although I wouldn't believe it, I really, really, really want him to do that. I really want him, because it will light a fire under the asses of the Democrats who sit there and say, we got the black vote on lock. And that's what Mr. Combs was trying to say, I believe, was that you just can't have us, just because. Just 'cause my grandmama vote Republican, my grandmama vote Democrat, I'm going to be Democrat too. Everybody in my neighborhood Democrat, so I'm going to vote Democrat too. Stop giving it away. Make them earn it. But the thing is now, you look like you're playing with fire because you waited so late to bring all this rah-rah. You could have done this earlier on when there was more candidates in the field and there was been more people that you could actually hit with that, and they would lead with it. A lot of them did have plans specifically for black and brown communities. A lot of them had plans specifically for black communities. Some of them, yes, did have plans. So my thing is this: Mr. Biden needs to pick and choose. He don't want to, because he has to look like the electable white to the white people. He has to taste his choice to them. It's like, hey, I'm still for you, all this, that, and the other. It's a good, I'm recognizable. The old people know me, so you're going to get that. But if he puts out something specific to black or brown people, to black people specifically, if he puts something out there specifically, he believes he's going to take a hit. Because he wants to get Michigan back, because, we lost Michigan to Trump. But with the turnaround with all the with the mayors and the governors and getting elected, they ended up getting a Democratic governor, I believe. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
It's funny how Trump got Michigan, but they got a Democratic governor.
Because of that turnover. Once they saw that he wasn't doing any of the stuff he was talking about doing, that it was all smoke and mirrors, he was a snake oil salesman, that he always been, then it was like, now we need to change. So you have the Democrats hitting heavy around the country to get people in place. So a lot of those places that they did lose, they got a lot of representatives, and they got a lot of mayors and governors in those spots. And it's just funny because it's a game that the Democrats and the Republicans play back and forth, this two-party system. So what's important is that we try to get something specifically for us. That's what's really important, So if anything, we have to make sure, there we go. We have to make sure that, there you go, put your meat, that this time around, when we go out there voting and whatnot, that you're voting your interest. A lot of people say your interest is to get Trump out. And I don't care for him one iota. But the thing is, if you get him, in getting him out, what do you get? What do you get? Go there with a selfish heart, with a selfish mentality. What is in it for me? Because everybody who gets into those positions, into office, they are constantly pushing what is in it for them. So if there are to be any debates or anything like that, I want those to be the power hitting questions. That I want that to be what's being said to the candidate once he's on stage with Trump. I want that question to be hit over and over again from this community. What are you doing for us? And that's going to put some fire, because, Trump's people are going to make up something. They may do it, they may not, and try to put it out there of what they want done for them, or what they're going to do, rather, for you. And if it's all snake oil, it's all snake oil, but it will cause the other side to jump into some sort of action to get things done. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's that's a trip. Now, I was reading here, nearly half of the U.S. will reopen in some form beginning for the next week, And you had all of these places who are going to reopen, and then we were talking about the airlines saying that they're going to stop lots of trips to the larger cities. Some bus companies have also already started doing that. Cutting schedules and whatnot to the larger cities and all that, mostly because of lack of demand. But if the government subsidizes these businesses, they'll continue in that manner. Just remember, we are on live right now. Phone number is 312-554. Oh, my throat. 312-554-5244. Get your calls in, get your questions in. Also, go ahead and hit up the comment section below, letting us know what you think about what's going on out here in the world today. We got that. Pardon me for a second here, folks. I'm doing a little house cleaning on these show topics right here. Yeah. So that was very, very, very important that we get that done. And those that are out there protesting. Now, I'm not against your right to protest. You have your right to protest and assemble. First Amendment is very important. And the governor herself said that, her own, that the First Amendment is very important, that she would lean to the side of the First Amendment if addressed about protesters and whatnot, but with not with them breaking the law. So if they started breaking the law and the threatening and all of that stuff, that's when it becomes a thing. Because there was a case of someone being threatened, representative being threatened by people who were out there protesting.
What representative?
Oh, there you are. There, I have to look that up. But yeah, there was a representative that was threatened, and of course, it was by Billy Bob and all their friends. Open up my country. How dare you? Open up my state.
How do you allow them to walk around there with rifles, with firearms? What made them so special, or gave them exemption to be walking around a state building with firearms?
Now, in some states, it's open carry, so they can have those weapons on them. That's not a factor, and others, like here, you definitely couldn't do that. I believe in all of Illinois, you couldn't open carry a rifle like that into a state house, which those people were in, taking pictures and posing, proud of their actions.
I mean, look at the perception of it, though. You carrying a gun, talking about you protesting. I mean, what are you planning on, attack too?
And that's the whole thing. They want to give that perception that, and you see with the posing, that, we took over. You I tell that to people time and time again with your these perceived revolutions, your back will be blown out before you get a chance to squeeze a nth of a trigger. They will clamp down on you so hard. So you got to do it the other way. You got to work the ballot box. You got to work the system. The best you can.
So who are we talking about here? Are you talking about us, or are you talking about them?
I'm talking about both, to be honest. Because them have been successful in using the system as it is. And also getting the system to be tweaked. And as they needed to be. We were successful in certain parts of the last century, tweaking things in our favor, but then we gave up with the tweaking. It's like the March on Washington. You march, you went there, but then you went home. No, you got to twist. If it was a nipple and you were doing a purple nipple, you got to twist that bad boy till they scream. Keep on the pressure. The Black Americans should have united and had their own party a long time ago. Hispanic Americans, same thing. Or Latino X, same thing. Delegations should have been built up. And they still can be and need to be built up so that you have some type of collective bargaining. As much as I don't agree with unions, that collective bargaining power is important when you have something to offer that the party needs. Now, in a labor situation, there's always people who will do the job that you want. But there are no people who will be the people that they need you to be. If they need you to be a consistent turnout at the booth to get these numbers in and whatnot, there's nobody to do this but you. You got people saying, oh, they're using dead people and people who are not on the rolls. There's a lot of fake voting going on. That's when it's not working in their favor. And when it is, oh, no, the system's working fine. So you're going to hear a lot of that. There's so many, I don't know where these fake voters came from. The thing is, once these people unite, get your act together, come up with a list of demands, you got to treat it like it's a hostage situation. I agree with Puffy on that. Only thing I said, though, is that he was way behind. He was, way behind with it. He doing it now because I guess we're on quarantine. There's nothing else to do, But he was way behind with it.
I prefer to have Killer Mike, take to him with this stuff because when I was hearing him talk, he made a lot of sense. Just particularly like how you speaking about what we need to do. He explained, man, okay, if any party comes and says they want our vote, they gotta concede to our demands or show us what they're going to do, at least started, and show us, that they are really trying to doing what they promised to do.
Exactly. That's exactly.
For me, was just a host.
Right. Of the Revolt Summit and whatnot. Yeah, he was just that. He was in the audience at that time, just a host. You see, this time,
I'm just talking about now.
Oh, now.
No, all of that ties in together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was in the crowd, he was the host, and now he's the host now, saying he wants to hold things hostage. Like you said, you should have been did this. And I'm saying Killer Mike would have probably executed sooner than later.
Yeah. Killer Mike was out there for campaigning for Sanders, and he was putting in the work, as they would say. He was putting in the work. He was getting things done. Getting it out there, helping mold that message. And whereas Puffy stood on the sideline, until there was something, and I hate to say that about him, to a profit was to be made, but to where and profit doesn't have to come in terms of financial. It can come in clout appearance to say that I helped put this together, much like how Beyonce and Jay-Z rode for a long time on that. I helped to get Barack in or get his name out to build up his popularity and stuff like that. Some people want that clout. I put that presidential clout out there. So if anything, the holding the vote hostage, it's a good strategy. A little late, a lot of late, but it needs to be put out there so that it's echoing. And Trump is simple-minded. He's going to pick up that echoing. He's going to be like, what is this I'm hearing about? The black people saying that they won't vote for the Democrats unless this, that, and the other. Why don't we just offer them this? And the same thing he said to us. What do I got to lose? He only got what was his numbers? I believe he said 8% of the black vote. So if you only got 8% of the black vote, what do I got to lose? I'm just gonna throw that out there. Now that might not go well with his his base, but they don't have a choice. You know, they go get either something that they are not for at all. You know, a friend of Barack Obama, what they call them Barack Obama lights or whites. You know, they either something they have at all, or they're Trump with a speech saying what he just needs to say. You know, so let's say he said that he didn't, and Trump, like I say, Trump, last thing on his mind, last thing he remembers. Last person who spoke to him. That's the last thing. First thing he's gonna say. You know, that was scary as a cat. Okay, we got a call coming in. Let me see here. Open.
Joanna.
Hello, you are on the line. Who are we speaking with?
Rena.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. I'm okay.
What's going on?
I was listening to what I was going to comment about what you were talking about, Diddy. When I saw he popped up one day saying, he telling Biden basically he have to make sure he has something for black people or else he's holding the food hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I just rolled my eyes because they had about 100 and something Democrats that was running for the presidential nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he? Where was he? All this time, all of a sudden, now he wants to pop up and say something. He is what you call an opportunist. That's what he is. He had the opportunity to do that when all the candidates were still there, and he had the opportunity to do it when there was down to 4 candidates, when it was just down to 2. Now it's just Biden, and all of a sudden he wants to talk big. And I can't take anything that he says seriously because, like I said, he does these things for clout and for attention. I cannot take anything for that. Dante was saying he preferred was Killer Mike. I agree. Because Killer Mike, to me, he has more credibility than Diddy.
Much more.
That's my... Sorry?
Yeah, much more.
Exactly. Because if Killer Mike does it, okay, there's no ulterior motive. With Diddy, you always have to wonder, okay, what are you getting out of this?
Yeah.
That's what you have to wonder. And I don't like that. And quite frankly, he do not speak to me. He don't speak for me. Okay?
And unfortunately,
I want Trump out of office, period. Even if we have to take old man Biden, I'd rather deal with that than Trump and his cronies. Because it's because of his unwillingness to deal with the coronavirus since he got intel on it since December. Is because of his unwillingness to take it serious is why we are in the position that we're in now. We don't need to have a president who will do something like that. We don't need that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, who's not a kid and wants to blame somebody else.
True. Because he wants to blame someone else for what's happening. He wants to pin blame on Wuhan at first, and then the CDC not giving you all the information, or giving him all the information, or the World Health Organization them knowing about it, and this, that, and the other. And you got people who are sitting there eating that up, his base, who are eating that stuff up. Dante?
I'm still here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you stop here, you got to stop talking.
I'm waiting on turn. I'm just trying to see if everybody's got their point across.
Yeah. That's true.
Because I know she's still on the line, right?
Yeah, she's still right there. No, I'm telling you to go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead. Dante?
Oh, okay. But I agree with the fact with Puffy, and the only problem with that is you got too many of us following them like sheep.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's the fact of following him to like Pied Piper. And if you are the person who follows entertainers, I don't. There are not many that I could say I would follow. Yeah, it just doesn't work that way for me. But I can see why people do what they do when they're following entertainers of any yoke. Is that be that sports, fashion, music, things like that. I get it. That's part of your world, but that's not your entire world. Your real worldview. Because if these people were to disappear, you'd be out there. It's just you.
You see, the thing is that you can't have an entertainer, celebrity, whatever, speak for you. You know why? Because we're in two totally different tax brackets. If today or tomorrow they call the elections and Trump becomes president again, guess what? They are not going to be impacted by the things that he put in place. We are. They have money. We don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I can't have a celebrity, a millionaire, damn near billionaire, speak for me. He can't speak for me. Because the things that I need and I want, he got it. When it comes to health insurance, they have the best health insurance. When it comes to education, their kids get the best education. When it comes to tax breaks, they get all the tax breaks.
Now, see, that's true in a sense. In a sense, I agree with you. But the only issue is a lot of our state representatives, a lot of our Congress, a lot of our presidents are millionaires. Some are billionaires. Our governor here, billionaire. So the issue is now it's depending on where that person's allegiance lies. If it's all about just getting more popular, then no, they don't align anything with you. If it's about making the world a better place, which should be your overall outreach and theme, then we for that. But if it's all about and make sure my name was on it, and make sure you heard it from me, that type of thing, like we were seeing with the whole press conferences live with Trump, how every last person who came up did that kissing of the ring type of thing under the direction of the president. We are working on this, that, and the other. Yes, and Mr. President, you made a great statement when you said, "Oh, Mr. President is going to go ahead and I thank the president for making this actionable reason." That's just ridiculous.
It was, and I'm happy that he stopped doing his daily briefings, because that was just something from the gloat about the things that he's done and he's doing. And I don't want to hear about this, because they're saying, when that's why people, like when Como comes on, he just gives you the facts.
That's it.
That's all. He's not there he's not congratulating himself about what he did. He don't care about how big something is, how beautiful. He just say, I'm just here to give you the facts and only the facts. That's it.
That's it.
Now, there was something else I wanted to talk about. I want to ask a question, because I noticed that your mayor, she's going into various neighborhoods, and she's, I saw her, going to different neighborhoods, making sure people staying home. And there was a kid that was on the playground, I think it was on the west side, and she told him to go home, and he tell her, he mouths off to her, whatever the case may be. But I was watching, she's going to different neighborhoods and whatnot. My question is, since I'm not there, so I got to ask somebody who is there. Is she going to just the south and west side where most of black people are, or is she targeting the north side as well, too? Because I'm pretty sure that white folks out in the north side, they're out there not practicing social distancing. So I just want to know if she's doing that, because all they're showing is her in the black neighborhoods.
I think she went over there to them beaches when this first started. Before they start having these massive parties out south and out west. I think she had started going to places, but when they started getting to TMZ with these parties and I'm talking about all these social media outlets, I think that's when she went to the south and to the west. I don't know. I guess it's perceived like she was going to the black spots, and it's kind of hard for me to say, "Oh man, that's racist." But in the same token, though, You see many people out there though.
Yeah,
Now that's just might be me.
no, yeah, her motorcade, it does go on the north because she lives up north. So yeah, her motorcade, they have been out there on the north side. They have been out there on the beaches. It hasn't been. She had herself said that she would drive around up there leaning out the window saying get back in. If she saw groups of more than two people together, just idle. And that's the thing. Try to keep performing. Now I know she's saying stay in the house, get in the house. But what she's saying is, if she say it yourself, man. What she's saying is that what we need to do, what we need to do is social distance. That's the most important thing. That's what she's trying to say right there. Social distance. If you're gonna go outside, if you're going for a run, a jog, you can do that. You can go for your run, your jog, but not your run, your jog, hang out at Starbucks for a little while, meet up with a couple other people, sit on park benches and no, the congregating. We don't want the congregating. You can go about and do as you please in the in the city. Wear a mask because I think it was May 1st that everybody has to wear a mask inside of all the businesses. They want you wearing the mask, and social distance. It's simple. No large congregations.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if you answered the part I asked you because there was like a moment of silence.
No.
About
Go ahead.
was asking if she patrols. I don't know if you answered this part.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask.
Oh yeah,
again.
yeah. No. Yeah, she.
Because
she,
I didn't hear it on my end.
Yeah, she does. She does. Dante
she does.
actually
Okay.
answered that. So
Okay.
yeah, she
great.
actually does. We were saying because she lives on the northwest side of the city, she is out there in that area, and she has been going around telling people, no congregating, break it up. And that's the biggest thing. That's what it's been. It's just that, like I say,
because
when it happened with black people, it's more salacious. It's more like woo. Everything you do. Everything you do and you do it with color, you're doing it big, so it needs to be seen, and so it needs to be broadcast and put out there, and so people do that, and some people mimic it. That's the bad thing, because some people will see a party on the west side or south side or east side or north side being thrown by a black person and go, "Hey, they doing it. I'm gonna do it too." They throwing it. I'm gonna throw one too. And that competition, seriously.
I'm glad that you said that because I was having a discussion with a couple of people who live in Chicago, and they posted a couple of pictures of people in Lincoln Park and other areas on the north side, and a bunch of white people just sitting around having a picnic and stuff like that, and they were saying that she is only patrolling the south and west side, and she's not patrolling the north side, and it's not fair. And I say, and I just said, that looks bad on her if that's what she's actually doing. But I say, you know what? When the show comes on, I say, I'll ask you because I don't know for sure.
And this is the thing. This is the thing about being well informed. When you see something like that or you hear something like that, now we have avenues of which you can go in and check. You can go to Snoops. You can go into PolitiFact. Any videos, any stories that you see, run it through there, and it will give you detail on those situations. So that way we won't be going out here half-cocked, and you can strike down all of these naysayers or wise tales with actual fact to back any of your arguments.
This was not a story. This was some pictures people took.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anything.
Right.
What I'm saying is, they won't have pictures of her driving around. Most people don't recognize what a state vehicle or a city vehicle looks like. They don't, so they don't know. Or if she's in a personal vehicle, they don't know. But she's been out there, and we take her for her word so far that she's been out there doing that.
Okay, that's great. Because here in New York, it's totally different. Because like in Harlem, they close the parks in Harlem. And the police, what they do, because Harlem, even though Harlem is being gentrified, there's still a lot of black people that live in Harlem. So in Harlem, the police are out there in thick numbers. And wherever their black folks may congregate, in the parks,
Yeah.
they are there to break them up, which is fine. I understand that. However, when you go into Manhattan, like the Lower East Side and Bryant Park and Central Park, they all out there. All the white folks out there, not a policeman to be seen. Although Mayor de Blasio say, he have officers out there giving tickets, da 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 da. Okay, be that as it may. But my thing is that the black folks are targeted way more than white people.
Well,
And they showed it here in the news earlier on today that just today in Bryant Park, bunch of white people, they're hanging out and drinking and this that and the other.
yeah, but
And,
then my thing is this: who called the police? Did anybody call the police? Did
I
those
don't know.
same people complaining,
what?
saying there's a
Listen.
bunch of white people out here doing this, that, and the other? If those people saying there's a bunch of white people out here, this, that, and the other, did they call the police? Did they call the emergency contact number, the non-emergency number? They need to do that. They have to do that, because if you don't do that, then the argument is mute. That's the problem.
Hey, can she hear me?
I don't think she can hear you, because she said there was a moment of silence and she was waiting. I was like, oh, for some reason she not hear you.
A lot of times what's going on over here is you got these young dummies putting it on Facebook, putting it on Instagram, and then you got people twerking on cars. Like you said, it's got to be excessive with us. We just can't just be out in mobs. We got to do other stuff. Yeah, this Tay, I'm coming to you live. Look at this man. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm doing me.
But see, this is the issue.
Not to say that I'm not agreeing that if a white person out there partying too. I'm just saying, most of the time they're not putting it on Facebook.
My thing is this.
Trying to get gratification.
My thing is this. I am blind justice. Everybody gonna get it the same way. I don't care if you twerking and whatnot and barbecuing, or if you out there reading Sunday sermons to orphans. Both y'all asses get in the house. Y'all both gonna get it just the same and just as even.
What I'm saying is, we tend to want to be on Facebook and show.
Whoa, pause. Whoa, pause. Remember, there ain't no we when it comes to that. Those are people who choose to be part of their own little group. They know. Yeah, we need. We make sure we spread that. That ain't we. That ain't us. That's them. So that's a small minority, but they are extra. Like I say, and those out in the park on the north sides and North Shore area, they are extra in their way. You ain't got to be all out here with everybody else. You ain't got to do it. You can go in your house. That's what's important. The mayor stay here. I'm sorry, I didn't see there, Miss Mayor. Go ahead, disappear. But yeah, that's the most important thing.
She's still on?
Oh no, actually, I think she dropped off. Yeah, she has actually dropped off there, because when her name dropped, that's when it usually drops.
I had no idea the caller couldn't hear me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because they can't hear you, and because I'm like, wait a minute, you answered that question, and they couldn't hear you. So I'm like, okay, the caller couldn't hear you, but the stream can hear you. The stream is coming in well. Hopefully soon, this portion will end and we can figure this out, and it'll be a lot better doing it that way, because the remote, although it's working, it's not the way I prefer to do things. I prefer the professionalism that we have already set up inside the studio. So much better.
Yeah. But you know what, man? I knew that was going to come about as far as the parties being broken up, and if they were just targeting black people, or they getting white people too, I'm down there on LaSalle in Ontario for employment, so there's white people out there, and then there's black people out there. So I wouldn't say that it's a demographic of it's one or the other doing it. Some people just decide they want to be outside. And I seen some Arabs in a biker club hanging out at the gas station during the same time. So
Yeah. I mean, like I say, being on the bikes and all that stuff, you can do social distancing on the bikes. But at some point, right, as I say, at some point, you guys are going to congregate. At some point, y'all going to go in the same place to get gas or whatever, and you may not just go in and come out and disperse, your distance from each other. You may sit there and want to talk and hang out for a while, and that's just as bad. It's just as bad. So you have to pre-think these things. You have to pre-think these things before you do them.
I don't think they care.
That's the thing. That's the biggest thing. They don't care. You're not going to learn till you burn. That stove is hot, and yet they're going to touch it. That's the bad part. Ooh, excuse me.
Unfortunately, man. And then, when you go into a job like we do, I gotta wear a mask, I gotta constantly wash my hands. They got plexiglass around the desk I work at now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and
a big
I look
thing.
at these guys feeling like, oh, I can do what I want to. I'm like, you're the reason I gotta have all this greasy spoon type protection around me.
Right. Because they don't want to common sense.
Yeah, well, common sense ain't common no more. You know that.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm still learning. Well, yeah, that's one thing that I still haven't got a complete grasp over. I give them the benefit of the doubt. So a lot of people saying I should stop doing that, but I still keep doing it. Like, oh, maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe. Like, I hope that they will. All right, folks. Yeah. We are pulling up on the end right here. We'd like to thank those that showed up and showed out. Thank you, Twain, for calling from out of New York. Thank you, Mary, for your comments. Thank you also. I'm trying to see the roster here. Because, oh, yes, we keep a roster. We keep a list. We check that. We check it twice. We find out who coming and who being nice. Thank you, Loris Minifield, for your comment also. Yet again, show number 15 in the bucket.
Wait. Is this 15 or is this 16?
I think it's 15. I will have to go back and count, but I have
to say it's 16.
Okay, I'm going to say 16 just so I can be right. So, show number 16. Again, we'd like to thank y'all for joining us and all your comments. Remember, we are live streaming every Sunday, 6 p.m. We're going to try for that middle of the week thing. Still got to get that together because that's going to be a little something different. So we're trying to get that together. Remember to leave your comments, questions, queries. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at AiQ Radio, and also here on Facebook. Follow us at AiQ All in Question. And from me, Mr. Romano, and my co-host, Don Regal.
Hey, one question though. Anybody in there couldn't out their house?
Couldn't what?
Couldn't hear out the house.
Couldn't hear out the house. You gonna show up to somebody's crib? I said you got a young Barry White going on right there. Yeah. I mean, you got a real Isaac Hayes over there. I didn't know you had it like that. You might want to keep it and go Rick Ross with it. No. See, I'm jealous because I'm follically challenged, and all I get is this right here. That's all.
And you have a hairline. I don't.
Hey. I cut my hair bald because I think it feels smooth and aerodynamic. Shoot.
When it still comes in, you still got a hairline.
Yeah, there you go. That too. I guess I'm blessed. But thank y'all for coming out. Mr. Romano and Mr. Don Regal. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful week. Oh, tomorrow's May the 4th. So all my Star Wars fans, May the 4th be with you. You know, We're gonna do something on the live stream with some music from May the 4th. It's awesome. Star Trek stuff. Good. It's gonna be good. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. Bye.
Now, how was that? Were you intellectually stimulated? Did you learn something new? Good. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And that's a wrap.